football! Foden! Here we go then, the 192nd Premier League Manchester derby.
Manchester City versus Manchester United derby could have 12 stars missing after fresh injury blows. Manchester City and Manchester United have both been hit by a number of injuries ahead of their crunch Premier League derby clash at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Pep Guardiola and Ruben Amorim have both revealed they'll be missing several key stars for Sunday afternoon's Manchester derby showdown at the Etihad Stadium. United face fewer headaches, though Matthias Cunha and Mason Mount have suffered recent blows. Both players hobbled off during the thrilling 3-2 triumph over Burnley a fortnight ago, while Diogo Dalot withdrew from Portugal duty in September's break. The trio have been ruled out by Amorim for the cross-city clash. They in turn join Lisandro Martinez in Carrington's medical room at United's Carrington base. They are out for this game. I don't know how long it's going to take, Amorim stated in Friday's press conference. We need these guys to be a competitive team. We have very good players who are eager to play, so we will be competitive on Sunday, but they are out. When pressed on the potential length of their absences, Amorim continued, I don't want to say. If you talk to Cunha outside, he will say he can play this game. They are pushing really hard. As for City, Guardiola appears set to be without several vital figures. However, the Catalan head coach may also welcome back a crucial trio. On the brighter side there, Josko Gvardiol and Savinho have both resumed training lately and might therefore be involved, while Phil Foden is anticipated to be available. The September international break didn't treat Guardiola kindly, with Omar Marmoush picking up an injury while representing Egypt, just days after John Stones had to pull out from the England squad. The City boss provided updates on these two. He also confirmed other names on the injury list. Omar is injured, Ryan Ait-Nouri, Ryan Cherki is injured. The rest are fine, he stated on Friday. Stones as well is a doubt. Not a big issue, but he is a doubt for Sunday. When quizzed about how long Marmoush might be sidelined, Guardiola disclosed, we have to make the last tests. A few weeks. Before the October international break, he will be ready. Players like Mateo Kovacic, Marcus Bettinelli, Calvin Phillips and Abdulkader Kusanov have been nursing injuries recently. However, the latter duo could be fit, having been spotted in training. Manchester City set to hand forgotten star shock lifeline after Pep Guardiola apology. Manchester City are poised to include Calvin Phillips in their 25-man Premier League squad this season, with the midfielder last making an appearance for the club back in 2023. Calvin Phillips could be brought back in from the cold at Manchester City, with the midfielder set to be included in the former champions' 25-man squad for the Premier League, following a year away from the Etihad. Phillips, 29, spent the 2024-25 campaign on loan at Ipswich Town after falling out of favour at City. The former Leeds star is still a City player though, after a permanent move away from the club failed to materialise this summer. And it has now emerged that Phillips is eligible to participate in the Manchester derby on Sunday after being named in the club's Premier League squad. Even prior to his temporary switch to Suffolk last year, Phillips had been frozen out by Pep Guardiola. He last played for Manchester City 21 months ago, back in the 2023 Club World Cup. Yet the Telegraph claims that Phillips will be given the chance to resurrect his career with City. Phillips, who has been working on his fitness ahead of the 2025-26 campaign, made 19 appearances for Ipswich last year as they were relegated from the top flight. The £45 million midfielder also had a spell on loan at West Ham after falling down the pecking order at the Etihad following his move from Leeds in 2022. Things unravelled for Phillips at City following the 2022 World when Guardiola criticised the midfielder over his physical condition after he returned to Manchester from Qatar. Speaking in February 2024 after leaving City on loan, Phillips admitted his manager's comments had a big knock on my confidence. Guardiola reacted to Phillips's comments by issuing an apology, saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Once in 8 years is not bad, but I'm so sorry. I apologized to him," he said, spoke to him before making the comment. "I never, ever don't speak to the team before I say something here, or the player in that case. Phillips has made just 31 appearances since joining City back in July 2022 and was recovering from an Achilles injury over the summer. He had been linked with a return to his former club Leeds, though a move failed to materialise. Erling Haaland brutally tears into teammates ahead of Manchester United clash, not good enough. Manchester City have the chance to end their run of 2 straight defeats when they take on rivals Manchester United in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon at the Etihad Stadium. Erling Haaland has hit out at his Manchester City teammates for their poor start to the 2025/26 Premier League ahead of this weekend's clash with Manchester United. City have lost 2 of their first 3 games and currently sit a frustrating 13th in the top flight standings. Last time out, they squandered a lead at Brighton to lose 2-1, after also falling to a 2-0 home defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. Pep Guardiola's side had started the season with a 4-0 thrashing of Wolves, but they have not once since. After the first international break of the season, Haaland has labelled their season start as not good enough. This week, City take on United in the first Manchester derby of the season, and they will be looking to seek revenge for last season's defeat. "We've lost 2 games in a row. It's not good enough. It's way too bad," he told Viaplay. "We need to figure it out. Get back to winning ways. We can't afford to lose games as there's so many good teams. It's perfect to turn things around against United. We need to all be on our best, get ourselves going. We need to get things going, because it has not been good enough so far. Losing's not cool. It's annoying. You need to use it for something positive, as motivation to do better the next game, and I expect that we are. We need to use the angriness inside us out on the pitch to deliver at our highest level." Guardiola has also acknowledged his side's difficult start to the campaign, claiming that they can't afford to hope that previous success repeats itself. "I don't know what's going to happen," the Catalan said. "I know the results dictate all the positions of the teams, and I have to make a good season for that. I will not stay here when I feel that the club needs a chance, but right now I feel that I want to do it more than ever, after what happened last season and especially now in that moment. I want to be in front of all of the club, to make my shoulders bigger and bigger, to keep the weight of the situation, and with my players, try to do it. I'm not here just because I've done in the past." Manchester City injury latest. As Pep Guardiola issues major squad fitness update with key player a doubt, Manchester City have suffered injury issues during the international break, and Pep Guardiola has provided an update on his squad. John Stones faces a late fitness test ahead of Sunday's Manchester derby after pulling out of England duty with a muscle injury a week ago. Stones has started all 3 of Manchester City's games so far this season, but he suffered an injury hit 2024/25, and Pep Guardiola said he was a doubt to face Manchester United at the Etihad. Omar Marmoush has already been ruled out after picking up a knee injury while on international duty with Egypt, and although he is still undergoing tests on the severity of the problem, Guardiola only expects him to miss a few weeks and believes he should be back before the October internationals. Ryan Cherki is also out, having picked up a thigh injury before the defeat to Brighton, but Guardiola said the rest of his squad were available, easing fears over the likes of Abdulkadir Kusanov, Ryan Ait-Nouri, Rico Lewis and Nico O'Reilly, who all pulled out of international duty over the past 2 weeks. Omar is injured. Cherki is injured. "The rest are fine," said Guardiola. "Stones as well is a doubt. Not a big issue, but he is a doubt for Sunday." Asked about the extent of Marmoush's injury, Guardiola said, "We have to make the last tests. A few weeks. Before the international break, he will be ready." Although Guardiola didn't mention him, Mateo Kovacic is also set to miss out against United and isn't due to be fit until next month. Josko Gvardiol and Savinho are yet to feature this season, but both have returned to training and could be in contention for the derby, while Phil Foden is set to be available. The Champions League is back, and Manchester City will be looking to prove last season's disappointing show was just a blip as they prepare to take on the best sides on the continent. And our Manchester Evening News special edition is the ideal guide to the challenge facing Pep Guardiola and his side. It is packed full of features and analysis on the Blues, profiles of all 36 teams looking to reach the final in Budapest in May, plus every fixture in this season's group stage. Gianluigi Donnarumma explains why he joined Manchester City as Pep Guardiola prediction. Made Gianluigi Donnarumma joined Manchester City from PSG earlier this month. Gianluigi Donnarumma has set his sights on winning the Champions League with Manchester City. The 26-year-old had been on the lookout for the right move after his omission from Paris Saint-Germain's Super Cup squad made it clear to him he was no longer their first-choice goalkeeper. Despite links to Manchester United, Donnarumma moved to the Etihad earlier this month for an undisclosed fee, signing a 5-year contract. And speaking in his interview after joining Pep Guardiola's side, Donnarumma revealed lifting the Champions League would at City would be a dream come true. He said, "I think the Champions League is the best trophy for a football player. It was an indescribable emotion. We have the game against Napoli, which is a difficult one. However, all games are difficult. Napoli have a strong team. I know them. I have a lot of friends there. However, there are no easy games in the Champions League. We have to think game by game and give it all we've got until the end and give 110%. I hope to get as far as possible in the Champions League. But now we have to think match after match, and then at the end, we will see where we get to." Before he continued, "It is one of our goals. I'm not going to hide it. Lifting the Champions League trophy with City would be a dream for me. It is one of our goals. However, like I said, we have to work calmly and hard, and we have to think game by game, like I said. But together with the coach and the staff, I am convinced we will be able to go far. But now we have to work humbly and think game by game." Donnarumma was City's 7th and final summer signing, taking their total spend to £185.8 million, and he replaces Ederson, who moved to Fenerbahce earlier this month. "I'm very excited," the Italy international said on the move. "I came here with all my family, and this my first day at the club, and my first emotions are that it looks like a real family. Everyone is smiling, and I'm just happy and proud, and I can't wait this new adventure. I'm really proud to be here at one of the best clubs in the world. They have been trying to sign me, so everything's been easier, and I'm very excited to be here. This is a club with a lot of history behind it, and is hungry for victory. I know there is a lot of responsibility, but I'm proud to help the club continue winning together. Playing in the Premier League with Manchester City is a great emotion for me, and I'm ready for this challenge.